take the mic.
Fantastic. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Come on down. Grab a seat. Grab a seat.
G'day.
Welcome to Morning Startup. I'm Erin, and this is the lovely.
The lovely?
The lovely. You are lovely.
Thank you very much, Erin.
It's an affirmation, Scott.
Don't feel very lovely at this hour of the morning, but I've got a jacket on and everything because this is a big event.
And colourful socks.
True. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, I know. I've got my best farm shirt on today.
All right. So you are at the Innovators of the Year 2026 launch. Woo! Can I have a woo? Let's go. Excellent. But it is inside a Morning Startup event. So who hasn't been to Morning Startup before? Okay, welcome.
There will be a test at the end.
That's right. So Morning Startup is put together by these entrepreneurs. We're all founders, and we thought, rather than sitting in our home office trying to make stuff happen, let's actually get together with other entrepreneurs every 2 weeks and learn stuff and meet other people going through this journey the same as us. So we do this every 2 weeks, rain, hail or shine. We have an interesting speaker, and you get to meet other founders. So please come along.
We're Australia's longest running continuous innovation event, I believe now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So one of our cheerleaders in the back, Nina, who you can see waving, is also a fellow founder and organiser. She's the lovely person modelling her designs from Made Apt. Because if there's one thing we know about founders, they're really good at spruiking their businesses.
That's right. FASTVUE.co, fastview.co for anyone. Speaking of shameless plugs.
Yeah, so we've just demonstrated how it's played, which is at every Morning Startup in true founder style. We ask people in the audience, so whether you're running a program that's coming up soon, whether you're a startup who is looking for customers, or you are a business that's hiring, we give you a short pitch. Yes, we do give over the mic to someone who's got a shameless plug and announcement. I was actually looking for a lovely gentleman in a bright yellow T-shirt who's one of our good success stories.
It's gone. Must still be getting coffee.
Must still be getting coffee, but...
Who wants to stand up, give a 30-second pitch or about what they're working on, anything you like?
A program you're running.
Whatever. No one? No one wants to do it?
Oh,
excellent.
Yes.
Good morning, folks. I'm Rebecca from the WA Life Sciences Innovation Hub. Thank you. We're very excited because a huge event is coming to Perth next month. It's called AusMedTech. So in terms of anything medtech, connecting with WA's community, but also Australian and international, there are plenty of people in this room who may not have considered that this was an industry relevant for you, but I guarantee it is. Conference tickets are open. There's heaps of satellite events to connect in. So check out the AusMedTech website or wolsey.au to see how you can get involved.
Excellent. That's the way it's done.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right, got the ball rolling now.
Can I riff off that? Thank you, Rebecca. Great intro. So, Perth By Design is celebrating 10th anniversary this year. Woohoo!
Hey!
Thank you. That's so. Plus 8 is 10 years old, and so is Perth By Design. So fantastic news. We have a huge event on the Monday, 18th of May, to kick off AusMedTech Week. We have the By Design Innovation Summit at the University Club in West Australia. 300 people. Massive list of international guests. We have Josh Macker, who founded Stanford By Design, coming to keynote that. We have people coming in from Galway, the biggest medtech cluster in Europe. We have people coming from New England Medical Innovation Centre, from India, all over the world coming to that day. Please come and join the amazing talks and presentations and discussions there. Then we have a gala dinner at the State Reception Centre in Kings Park. That is going to be huge, absolutely huge. We have jazz, we have the Minister opening both the summit and the gala dinner. That makes it especially huge. It's going to be great, so please come along. 400 people, it's going to be amazing. See you there, 18th of May. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Do we
very much.
have any founders in the room? Can I get a show of hands for founders? Have we got founders? We've got one founder, two founder, I feel like three founder, four founder.
Good.
Have we got any founders who want to give us a short pitch? All right.
No more shameless plugs.
Oh,
Announcements.
excellent.
All right,
yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dan Tan, and I'm from The Positive Difference, a company that I founded only a couple of years ago. So I've had a bit of a journey. I spent 15 years in the tech industry, doing everything from software development and team leading through to sales and account management. And what I discovered is that the stuff that I learned in university very quickly became redundant. But the things that I learned on the side to do with human skills, communication, relationship building, team building, leadership skills, those continued to be valuable to me. But no one ever taught us these skills. So I left that industry a couple of years ago to start this company, The Positive Difference, so that I can teach technical people skills. So if you have got a technical team and you reckon they could improve their communication, know how to navigate difficult conversations, learn to lead, and learn to build awesome company cultures, reach out to me, and I'd love to help you.
Nice work.
Awesome.
Sorry, all the programmers I know have awesome people skills. So we've got one more shameless plug at the back here from Peter.
Thank you. Hello, Peter from Innovate Australia. Just want to let you know that we're going to be launching a program, AI for Good Innovation Factory. Yeah? Closer? No, just on Friday. So, like last year, submissions from AI startups. And the winner goes to Geneva. Hey!
Yay!
Okay, thank you very much. All the shameless plugs, well done. We will move on. So we have a shameless plug, Founder Sundowner.
We do.
First Wednesday of every month, usually, but next month we've had to move it because other side of nowhere have an event on. So it's the second Wednesday of the month. I think it's May 13th.
Correct. Very informal, very chill, very different to this. So if you want to nerd out with fellow founders over a pizza and an adult beverage, it's the place to be.
Yeah, come along. All right. Please don't get offended by fruity language. But this event is coming up, what is it, on April 30th. So if you haven't heard of Fuck Up Nights, it's a global phenomenon where founders get up and they talk about their fuck-ups. Carla's here. She's going to tell you all about it.
Hi, everyone. Can I just get a show of hands of who has actually heard of Fuck Up Nights before? Oh, actually, quite a few. Cool. Yeah, I crazily decided to take it up again. I know it's been gone for a couple years. So for those of you who don't know, Fuck Up Nights is basically an event where we get some speakers together. They talk about their fuck-ups. So failures and learnings. We don't want to hear about how it all went well in the end. Because nobody talks about it, and so that's what it's all about. We host 4 of these events a year. If you scan this QR code, it's to our first launch event coming up next week, Thursday evening. And if you put in this lovely code because you're here, then you get $5 off.
Oh.
And otherwise, here's the QR code to all of our socials. Just starting up, we're always looking for speakers, sponsors, volunteers, people to come, create this energy and vibe of, failure is okay because without failure, we can't have success. So hope to see you there.
Thank you so much for putting this back on. They're great events. Okay.
Who's feeling calm right now?
Okay.
Oh, I was like, who's feeling calm right now? I feel like we should lead a meditation, Scott.
Absolutely. You know what a better live stream is? perthvideo.com.au. Morning Startup Perth. You can check out this event as well as all of our past events on that page. And they are awesome at live streaming. They are sponsoring the live streaming. They come along every 2 weeks at the crack of dawn to get everything set up. They do live streaming at weird locations in the middle of nowhere with no internet connection. I have no idea how it works, but they're amazing. So get on Perth Video if you need any of that stuff.
Beecham Group. So Glenn from Beecham is one of our fantastic sponsors and always gives us a very, 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 very short word of advice about what's happening in the industry.
All right. I'll do one quick thing. So I actually talked to Aaron about this the other day. So with a lot of uncertainty, that's basically new certainty. It's the same thing when you're hiring. So my suggestion to you at the moment is don't think with your hiring with your amygdala, think with your prefrontal cortex. So when you're looking at someone, it sounds really funny, and it is in some contexts when you see what people's decisions are about when they hire and how they hire. But the big thing here is if you have to replace someone, don't just think, oh, you know, Scott's awesome, I'll just find another doppelganger for Scott. I mean, is there one really? But there's probably not.
Actually is.
But as Aaron and I speak about it too, right, it's start from the start always, right? So if you need to hire, don't just think, I've already had a person in that space, I'll just hire a doppelganger of them. Start from the start, look at and understand exactly what you want, thinking about it from the long term, not just from an amygdala perspective.
I like it. Thanks, Glenn. And if you need hiring advice, go and have a chat with Glenn and get on Beecham Group. So these, because Morning Startup, you know, it costs money. We've got food and coffees and meet-up fees and things. So we've just got a few people that support us putting this on every 2 weeks.
Oh, that way.
Purpose Ventures. Who's heard of Purpose Ventures? Look at that. Good job, Derek. Well done. Getting the word
I was
out.
trying to give him the mic and he was just like...
So, who's got a coffee? Excellent. Actually, today it's sponsored by Deed. Thank you very much, Deed. But usually it's sponsored by the kind folks at Purpose Ventures. So if you come to Morning Startup and get a coffee, you are officially VC funded.
So today we can say you're officially government funded. The joke still works.
Government funded coffees.
So, Minister, you just write this really long list now of all of these startups that you've just funded.
Well done. But thank you very much, Purpose. And Ammo have been with us for a very long time. If you need some marketing assistance and hit the accelerator on your company, go and check out Ammo. They've also got a cool podcast called Weird Growth. Make sure you subscribe to that. So I'm going to fly through some of these because we've got a bit of other stuff to do. And Everest Engineering, I don't think Tom's in the room.
He's in the room. He is.
Hey Tom, so if you need help with developing your product, getting the idea out of your head and actually making it and getting developers and all that sort of stuff, Everest Engineering are an awesome organisation that can help you out with all of that stuff to get from idea to something. Check them out. And they usually help us out with the food. So thank you again for all of that.
We are in a beautiful Space Cubed, operate a number of different co-working spaces, not just in Western Australia, but across Australia as well. If you're looking for space, check them out. There are a number of other exciting things happening in the startup ecosystem, including Startup News, Sign Up Online. Startup WA represents our lovely innovation ecosystem in Western Australia, so get amongst it. Membership is free. And Plus 8 is one of the many, many incubators. And if you turn the page, Scott, ding!
Ba-ding!
You'll see, ding, there are more and more incubators coming online. If you scan that magical QR code, it will take you on an adventure to find out all of the magical things that are happening in the WA innovation ecosystem, because we definitely do not have time to talk about them all.
No, that's right. Use the Copilot feature to put in your industry and it'll lead you to the right place, hopefully. All put together by the kind folks at Mesh Points. Thank you very much. All right, but we've got a couple of announcements too that we need to make. So we have some departing sponsors. I've just been through Ammo and Everest Engineering. We are so grateful for their support over the years. Ammo has been with us since the start of COVID when we needed to pay Zoom fees and things. Jack and Cam, they've been fantastic. Thank you very much. And also at Everest Engineering for helping us out with the food over the last year. It's been amazing. So a round of applause to our outgoing sponsors. Been great. But that also opens up opportunity. So if you are an organisation that supports startups, that's the number one thing we're after. We don't just want to put anyone up here. They have to be helping the startup community, helping people get off the ground. If you would like to have your pull-up banner here, have a dedicated slide where we gush about you every 2 weeks, then we really need support feeding the masses and the pizzas at Founder Sundowner. So we're looking for 2 sponsors to share that responsibility.
And we have lots of street cred. We have lots and lots of... we have over 7,000 members on Meetup. We can talk to you through the stats, views, all that kind of stuff. So lots of exposure, not just in terms of here. Live stream gets lots and lots of faces, not just in Western Australia, but all around the world now.
Yeah.
So we can, if you want stats, we can talk stats.
Bring it on. So contact us. Contact at morningstartup.com. Thank you. All right. Or on the socials and Slack and all the things.
Or in person.
All the things. Cool. Short plug for what's happening in 2 weeks' time. Like I said, we'd run this every 2 weeks. Who's a developer in the room?
Yay!
All right, a few devs. So in 2 weeks' time, Aidan is going to tell you to stop writing code like it's today, which is, a bit of foreshadowing. It's crazy, the amount that has changed, especially in coding. But it's not just coding, it's also just delivering software. So Aidan's been working with like agentic engineering teams to actually deliver software to quality at the right time, faster, better, all of that stuff. So come along if you're interested in that space.
And that is our formalities done.
Yes, formalities. Thank you, everyone.
Actually, before we get into... I forgot the most important part, Scott, of any presentation.
Yep.
The toilets. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so for those who haven't been in this space before and they're looking for a toilet, as we're demonstrating air hosty style, down that corridor and up the stairs are the toilets. If you have mobility issues, please shout out and we can show you where the accessible toilets are.
There are others around the side there. You just need a key to get into them, so come and speak to us, or the staff will help you out. Thank you very much. All right, let's get on with the main event. So, WA Innovators of the Year, I'm going to let them talk all about it, but to get things rolling, I would like to introduce you to Andrew Dolan, who is the Executive Director of Science and Innovation at Deed. Please make him welcome.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Morning Startup, for hosting this magical event. Good morning, everybody, and it's great to see you all here. Great innovators, great founders, great supporters of the ecosystem. So looking forward to chats afterwards as well. Thank you also for those online, so hopefully you get to enjoy the rest of this launch of the Innovator of the Year 2026. I'm going to be acting as the MC today, so helping the formalities run through, and I promised myself I'm going to BC, which is be good, or BG I should say, be good, can't spell, and get things on track. As we start, I've got a few welcomes, and then we will run through with some speeches, and then I'll give a little bit of an update on some of the key elements of the program for this year. And then we'll hear from Sarah Mitchell, who'll talk about some tips for how to make a great application. So to start with, a very warm welcome to the Honourable Stephen Dawson, MLA, Minister for Science and Innovation. Great to have you here, Minister, obviously. Also, a super well-known Professor, Fiona Wood, AM. Thank you so much for being here, and a long-standing patron of the award program, so a superstar that you are, so thank you. Sharat Sharim, our Chief Scientist, is here, doing his magic around the state and nationally as well, so I'm so glad you could be here today. One thank you, well, it's a broad thank you, which is to our sponsors. We've got a load of sponsors, the Minister will discuss those, but without sponsorship, the Innovator of the Year program wouldn't be as good as it is, so massive thank you there. And for this year, the Malcolm Foundation is the primary sponsor, so a huge shout out to the Malcolm Foundation. Thank you so much for coming on board and being the major sponsor this year. Terrific. Bit of a clap. Right, I now get to stop talking, which is probably just as well, and introduce Mr. Dawson to the stage. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Andrew. Good morning. I think we need to change that photo, folks. I just realised I don't look like that anymore. There is a new one. We'll get it to you. Good morning. Can I begin by saying Nala Kadich, Wajuk Noongar Moor, Takayan Kadak Nijbuja. Can I acknowledge that we're on the land of the Wajak people of the Noongar Nation today and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and can acknowledge all First Nations people who might be in the room. Can I acknowledge Professor Fiona Wood, AM, an amazing person to have in our ecosystem, and of course, patron of the Innovator of the Year Awards. Professor Sharat Sharam, our Chief Scientist, is also here this morning. Can I acknowledge Malcolm Steinberg and the Steinberg family and the Malcolm Foundation, who do so much for our innovation ecosystem these days, and thank you for putting your money where your mouth is and helping grow what I think is an amazing ecosystem in WA, so thank you. And to everybody else, welcome, good morning. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I want to acknowledge Scott and Erin for having a bit of passion and a bit of enthusiasm, and you've got me going as well this morning. I have got a speech this morning because I've got lots of interesting information to tell you, so I'm going to use the notes and try not to go off-piste. Can I also acknowledge my Innovation Advisory Board members who are here this morning as well? That's all right, I'll hold them through. Yeah, I'll find this first. Who are you this morning? These awards continue to grow year on year, and it's really exciting to see so many of you out this morning to hear about them. But it wouldn't be possible without our program sponsors. So I want to acknowledge the continued support of Amy, and I see Kent here this morning, Better Labs, By Design Australia, Business News, Seri, More Australia, West Farmers, Woodside, Raise, and the Young Entrepreneurs Academy of Western Australia. Thank you to all of you. Can I also acknowledge and welcome to the fold some new partners for 2026, our community partner Visagio and Bankwest, supporting the photography and videography for the event, ensuring the recognition of our finalists and our winners long past the awards itself. Can I acknowledge Adash Australia and Faz Pollard is here, who are supporting the new advanced manufacturing category, which I'll speak a little bit later about. And last but definitely not least, the Malka Foundation, our new major sponsors for 2026, sponsoring our 2 flagship categories for emerging and growth innovation. So let's give them all a round of applause, because without them, we wouldn't be doing it. Again, thank you, Scott, Aaron, Nina, and the Perth Morning Startup team for having us, hosting us this morning, but also for all of you for what you do in our innovation ecosystem, many of you on a voluntary basis. Through the support of all of our sponsors, we've been able to grow the prize pool to over $310,000, so making this year's awards one of our biggest yet. So thank you again. For 2 decades, we've had the Western Australian Innovators of the Year Awards, and they really have shone the spotlight on the talent, the creativity, but also the entrepreneurship that exists right here in Western Australia. Since 2006, we'll think them up later on, that's all right. I didn't think this through. Since 2006, the ongoing support of this flagship awards program has highlighted the WA government's long-standing commitment to building a strong and inclusive, but also a forward-focused innovation ecosystem here in Western Australia. Celebrating and awarding success really is critical to growing this sector, with our winners often benefiting directly from such acknowledgement. For last year's growth category winner, Green Room Robotics, 2025 was a pivotal year. They were recognised by industry and government for their contribution to innovation across the maritime and defence sectors. And they announced late last year that their world-leading autonomy and navigation software will be integrated into all future ESG survey Fremantle-class uncrewed surface vessels, a significant milestone in establishing their prowess in autonomous navigation, and they continue to grow massively in the United States, so fantastic results. Another successful past winner, RoboRigger, which won 3 Platinum Awards at the 2019 program, did its first Series A round the following year. It now has Woodside and Multiplex as customers, along with servicing both the Australian and the overseas market. Over the years, the program has also evolved to broaden participation, but also to recognise more innovators at different stages of their journey. And one example is today's event. Whether you're here in person, indeed watching online, or catching up later, this format allows us to welcome innovators from right across Western Australia, and those who could not be here in person due to balancing work and or family commitments, as many of us do. Now, another example of our new award category for 2026, Advanced Manufacturing Innovator of the Year. This award will recognise WA manufacturers using advanced technologies, using research and modern processes such as automation, additive manufacturing and digital systems to lift productivity and to create higher value products. This category aligns with our state government's Made in WA mandate, and it signals our commitment to making more things here in Western Australia. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the finalists and celebrating their achievements this year. Now, beyond the awards, the Cook Government continues to roll out a $40 million New Industries and Innovation Fund, or NIF, which supports a range of programs right across the innovation life cycle, from early stage startups to scaling businesses. And one of the initiatives that is highly popular from the fund is our Innovation Booster Grant, which has increased its maximum grant from $40,000 to $50,000 to assist early stage startups. And the first round has just closed, and round 2 will open later this year. And since 2021, the Booster Grant has awarded just over $6.5 million to support almost 200 local innovators and local entrepreneurs. There's also the Commercialisation Bridge Grant, or CBG, which is designed to assist Western Australian innovators to scale, offering up to $250,000 in grant funding. And the next CBG round will also open later this year. For those who haven't seen or heard of them before, stay tuned, exciting stuff. But the NIF also funds our Innovation Pathways program, which supports organisations to deliver innovator and or investor educational programs and stimulates private investment in innovative innovative projects in WA. We recently announced the recipients of the latest IPP round, providing support for 5 accelerator programs and a further 9 entrepreneur and investor education programs. So congratulations to all of those. But more information on the various NIF funding programs and streams and the recipients of the programs can be found at the wa.gov.au website. And in fact, it is a good site for anything about innovation or grants more broadly across government. Now, of course, our state innovation hubs are also there to help progress early stage ideas and to connect entrepreneurs to the right people in the ecosystem and the right support services and indeed the right markets. Our hubs span cybersecurity, data science, creative technologies, life sciences, green tech, and we've now got a food tech hub that's being run in partnership with the Department of Primary Industries and Regional Development. But they work together and they help support innovation as a team, and because innovation really is a team sport. So there are many players doing important work in WA, and today I want to, highlight the opportunity, highlight the activity from Meshpoint. They recently completed their inaugural Promotions and Storytelling Challenge, and I'm pleased to be able to announce the recipients this morning. They are Southwest Angels for amplifying regional WA innovation, the Circular Fashion Council focusing on circular design stories, St Catherine's College telling the stories of AI innovation in WA, Saltwater Country Limited elevating First Nations innovation, ecosystem impact, the Fremantle Chamber of Commerce through the Fremantle Innovation Exchange, Curtin University and their YIWA founder video series, Innovate Australia through their AI for Good series, and the Hub on SX, focused on impact, innovation, ROI. So congratulations to each and every one of those. Let's give them a round of applause as well. And even just reading out that list, you can just see the diversity that we have in the ecosystem, and it's great that we continue to grow and flourish and thrive right here in WA. Our innovation ecosystem really does have some great stories to tell, and I certainly look forward to hearing more of these through this activity. If you want to find out more about them and indeed future Meshpoint challenges, please head to the Meshpoint website. Now, we're also seeing some real momentum in our innovation ecosystem, innovation sector. Individuals and teams showcasing what it means to push the envelope, to be bold and to build something new and meaningful right here in WA. I know it's not easy. It certainly takes the best of us to keep pushing the boundaries and to continue when so many of us would give up. And that's why these awards are so important, because they do celebrate the diverse range of innovators that we have right across the various sectors in WA. Many of whom questioned the obvious, challenged the rules, and kept going, even as it got harder, which really is crucial in this sector. Innovation, of course, applies to all sectors of our economy, and it is essential for our future prosperity, for our well-being, but also, indeed, for the planet. So I want to close by emphasising the Cook Government's commitment to fostering innovation. We are very excited to see our local innovation ecosystem and our innovative companies not only succeed, but also expand their impact on a global scale, as many of them do. For those who've heard me talk before, you've heard me talk about my frustrations that our innovators or our entrepreneurs needed to go overseas or over east to make it. And that's what drives me as Minister for Innovation, to create more opportunities in Western Australia, to allow people to stay here, give them the opportunity to stay here. Now, of course, if you want to go further afield, fine. But if we've got a great growing ecosystem locally that allows you to stay, that allows you to access the best, whether it's the best research or the best commercialisation experience or whatever, locally in WA, then it means our ecosystem continues to grow locally here. So can I ask just that you please do share the program details with your networks, help us identify, indeed support and nurture the exceptional talent within our communities, especially in regional areas. We do have applications open today for a range of things, so for more information go to the QR code which will appear as we conclude today's event. Before I officially launch the 2026 Western Australian Innovators of the Year Award program, I just want to add to Rebecca and to Kevin's 30-second pitch. Rebecca mentioned AusMedTech. At the moment, until 10 o'clock this morning, we have 8 Startup Alley pods available at AusMedTech. You need to go to, if you go to my LinkedIn page, you'll see a link there. If you're a digital or medtech startup, it's not a laborious process. Put in your details. Tell us you're from Western Australia. Tell us how many are working for you. Tell us what your ideas are. Put it in, because after 10 o'clock today, we'll do a quick analysis, but 8 startups will get a free pod at AusMedTech. They will get a special membership of the conference. They will also get a pass for the conference. So it's an opportunity for anyone in that sector. I know we'll be out of here probably by 9. It will take you 20 minutes. So no speeding. Come back to your offices or on your push bike. But get it in, because this would cost thousands of dollars, and it's a great opportunity to showcase your tech in front of the cream of the crop, not only from Western Australia, but from right around the country. And indeed, we've got lots of delegates coming from around the world. With that, thanks very much for indulging me this morning. Very happy to launch the 2026 Innovators of the Year Awards. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Vanessa. That's fantastic. You can obviously grab a coffee and put your application in right here in this building, I'm sure. Right, can I now welcome to the stage Professor Fiona?
Thank you very much indeed. It's been my absolute honour, pleasure, privilege, in every word you can possibly imagine, to be the patron of Innovator of the Year for a very, 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 very long time, and have whelped me out again. and when I come, I know, I look around and I'm with my tribe. And I was reflecting just then of all those years ago when my journey started in the 1990s, feeling like a piece of seaweed in a storm. And it was actually stubbornness, maybe a bit of resilience, that made me hold tight and link with people that actually were doing the same. They were seaweed in the storm as well, and we could actually find a link to each other, and eventually the raft started building. And I'd like to say we've got the Sargasso Sea right now, yeah? And we've got a lot of momentum and energy in this space that really, I can't describe how it makes me feel, but to see all those stories and all those journeys and blossoming and growing as we go forward into the future. I was at the American Burns Association last week, and as I was sitting there, I looked up, and many of you know my journey wasn't particularly easy, and I do bear the scars, but to see AOTY Medical as the top bill company in the American Burns Association, which is our biggest burns meeting in the world with about 2,500 people attending, was really a good feeling. And it was a great feeling when all those people who forgot how hard the time they gave me the pass were saying, "Oh, well done." And it was interesting to reflect how that journey, born of some considerable difficulty, had studied and maintained the road. And the feel of the meeting was looking to AOTY Medical, because it's the only true innovation in the last 30 decades in our space. And what are we going to do next? And I thought, well, watch out, because there's plenty more coming down the pipe. But again, it made me reflect on why I'm here this morning, why I'm such a staunch supporter of our local ecosystem. Because I came here in 1987 and I did not want to go anywhere else. I live at City Beach and every morning I'm in there, except then I have to get here early. But anyway, and I still feel like I'm on holiday. It is the most amazing place to live. And I think the isolation is actually a really positive thing. It was certainly very positive for me, because it made me sort of just problem solve with what was in front of me, what was available to me, without being distracted by the rest of the world. That's no longer the case, because we are a global network. We are connected. But we do live in an extraordinary ecosystem. We live in an extraordinary place. And I think we are really very fortunate at this point with our minister and our government. We are really very fortunate with the many people in this room who've got the energy and the drive to keep this going. And so for me, as they wheel me out again, I think, well, why not? Why not WA? Why not WA on the global stage? Why not actually support and celebrate? And you're right, it is so important to celebrate those wins. Absolutely, yeah, we can go to the and I feel like I would fill a few of those meetings on a Wednesday night. But it is important to celebrate the wins and the people who do that winning, because other people can turn and go, wow, that's an interesting story. And it was fabulous to hear all those stories celebrated and those articulation of those stories celebrated. Because it's by telling stories, good news and bad news, that we will build. And we will build this ecosystem to be one that is enviable. And certainly it's well on the way. And so I think to each and every one of you, go and tell good stories. Go tell as many people as you like, as you can. The good news stories about innovation in WA, about the support, about the drivers, about who's who in the zoo and who to speak to if you've got an idea. There's no such thing as a bad idea. It's just making it work. And that's where the energy comes in, and that's where this kind of program matters, because all the people that go into this program benefit. They benefit from the networks they make, the people they meet. They benefit from actually working out how to tell their story and how to tell it better, stronger, different, and how to understand when they've come against a brick wall and actually how to pivot and change. How to find that money, that elusive money, yeah, and how to build. Because it's not just building a company, it's building from a personal perspective, and it's building from a network perspective, and it's building from a community perspective. So as I look around, I think, fantastic, we've got a great community. Let's go bang the drum loud and hard, and actually let's see what shakes out. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks ever so much, Fiona. That was a truly inspiring speech. I mean, well done. And thanks for continuing to be our patron sponsor. Can I please now welcome to the stage Gerrard, the chair of the Malcolm Foundation, our primary sponsor for the Innovator of the Year 2026. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Andrew. And is this one on? Can you hear at the back? It sounds quiet now, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. That's better. That's better, louder. We didn't hear anything you said, Fiona. We'll have to go again. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, everyone. This morning, I moved back to Perth 22 years ago. And so just before the 20 years of the WA Innovator of the Year program started. And so I think I've been to many of the 20 years that that's been running. And like a few of us in the room, I have to say our ecosystem has changed tremendously in that time. I did have a start-up through that period that we'd scaled and sold, and my recollection, the only program that existed when we were running our business was the awards, but I think it was Curtain Ignition. I think Danielle's in the room somewhere. And I think that was it. And so as the Minister this morning is reeling off all of the things, the funding, the programs, the universities, the support, it's just a tremendous time, I think, to be building a company in Western Australia, not because of just the maturity of our ecosystem, but also, I mean, what a time to be building technology right now with AI and development of technology and things. Very, very exciting time. And we're, both as the Malcolm Foundation and my other hat with Purpose Ventures, we're proud and just feel very fortunate to be right in the midst of all of that that's happening. Over that time, I just did want to acknowledge the Minister quickly. I like to do this just because in the 20 years, you can imagine, I've interacted with lots of ministers over that time. And there are none like you, Stephen. There are none that have engaged in our ecosystem the way that you've done. You've done that now for an extended period of time. Most ministers I met felt obliged just to show up, to be honest. They read the speech and that was it. But you've spent the time to visit us, to understand what we do, to promote us, and you continue to do that. And we just really, really appreciate your support and your enthusiasm. And I think it shows. And also, Fiona, I have heard every one of your speeches over all the years. And again, to you, I just wanted to say you have this knack of saying the same but different. It's a different story every year, but the same underlying enthusiasm and encouragement and motivation to all of us. So thank you for your inspirational journey and the fact that you give your time back to this. We should clap again. And I don't know where Scott and Dave and the morning startup crew are, but the Minister commented on it being early. I think Fiona commented on being early, and I'm definitely not a morning person at all. I'm literally usually in bed still right now with a 10 a.m. start and a late night finish. So I just want to throw out the idea of like evening startup perhaps. As a concept, it might be time to pivot, you could just try that and see what happens. Of course, on Inspiration Stories, I want to acknowledge our founder, Malcolm Steinberg.
Yes.
Malcolm has, I think appropriately so, been very private about his entrepreneurial journey for many years. But when he founded and established the foundation 6 years ago, as the Minister said, it was the start of a journey of putting his money where his mouth is. And if you have ever heard Malcolm speak or get the chance to talk to him, he is incredibly passionate about entrepreneurs, innovators, and particularly so in terms of, I'm not on my notes yet, by the way, these are just my thank yous, I'll get there. But particularly passionate about WA and building WA and thinking about our future, thinking about our wealth generation, thinking about our economic diversification. But Malcolm, like Fiona, himself has an extremely inspirational story, and Jan, our CEO, and I have been the last few years saying to Malcolm, it's time to start sharing your story. People need to hear that, and it's what you've done out of WA that's effectively not raised money and not taken funding, built an incredibly private and influential company is inspiring. And so, again, Malcolm, there are many of us in the room today that have either been the recipients of the Malca Foundation support, or in my case, you've cornerstoned our fund and we've raised money and backed founders. We've also been recipients of your generosity. So I think it would be appropriate that we also thank Malcolm again. Also just want to honour Malcolm's son Dean's here, who's on our board, and Jan Stewart, our CEO, that many of you know, are also part of the Malca Foundation. Jan does all the work, Malcolm and I take all the credit. That's basically the way it works. And Jan's the one that's really put our strategy together and spent the time understanding the ecosystem and working out who we support. Over the last 6 years, Malca has donated roughly in the vicinity of $20 million. The bulk of that, 80%, has actually gone to backing the organisations that are supporting and training and educating the entrepreneurs and innovators of this next generation. And many of them are in the room today, and I will just mention what we describe as the Malca cohort. And the reason I mention many of these names is a lot of the applicants of this program actually come out of these programs. Many of the past winners have come out of these programs. And so we've got Curtin, we have Edith Cowan University, we've just supported what will be the launch of the Apple Foundation program later in the year, Murdoch University, UWA Venture, Seri, and Toby's here, Bloom, the Idea Academy, UR, Carmel School, and the Sphinx Foundation at Perth Modern School. And just so people understand, we are a foundation, so we can only give to organisations who have charitable status. So if you feel like, hey, I'm going to quickly grab Derek or Jan on the way out, if we can't make a donation, like you're not a DGR1 status entity, we can't donate. Doesn't mean we won't support and try and promote and help, but that's where our funding needs to go. And that cohort together, we're now starting to meet and think about how we can continue to contribute collectively to the ecosystem. At Malca, we believe that the entrepreneurs and innovators are the problem solvers who are building our future as a state. They're going to help diversify our economy, they're going to create the jobs of the future, and ultimately they'll generate wealth which will benefit all West Australians. And that really is the goal of the Malca Foundation. As I said, I've been coming to the WA Innovator of the Year Awards for most of the 20 years that it's been running. And it's easily the premier awards for our industry. And so from a Malca Foundation perspective, I'm proud to say that today we have started our support as the major sponsor of the awards. We won't talk about the sponsor that we took over, but we feel like this is part of economic diversification and just a slightly different message. I think what's so important, and I think it's been talked about both by the Minister and Fiona, is WA, we're not that great at telling our story. And I think hearing that there's some funding going into storytelling, but ultimately this is one of the best ways we do that at the moment, and the chance we get to showcase all the amazing things that are happening here. So we're very proud supporter. I have been a judge on the awards program before, and it's a shout out to Sandra and Georgia and the team. It's a big process to go through. I know there's lots of applications that come in and the judging process, and just want to thank everyone that's putting in all the hard work between now and the end of the year that needs to happen before we get to the outcome. And just want to say look forward to being back here at the end of the year when we get to celebrate our winners. So thank you.
Thanks, Gerrard. Thanks for those words. And yeah. Right, so now if we can, behind us. Yep, absolutely. So I'm just going to run through some of the basics for the program for this year, with the best piece of news that the prize pool has reached $310,000. That's the highest we've ever had. So that's a tribute of our growth path. We also have, as the Minister has announced, a new category, which is the advanced manufacturing category. So if you're in that sectoral space, then please consider an award in that area. We now have 8 award categories. So they're on the screen, and I will read them out as well. The first ones to mention are the 2 major award categories of emerging innovation and growth innovation. And the 6 platinum award categories are advanced manufacturing, the new one, community benefit and wellbeing, energy innovation, great for the state, innovators of the year, and young innovators of the year. To find out more about these details, as the Minister has mentioned, this QR code will come up and we'll use that to access stuff. But you can also use the DEED website, of course, to get more information on the programme. Applications open, as the Minister said, today at 11 a.m. So set your watches and go and grab a coffee and start thinking about your application. Now, in terms of closing times, there's sort of 2 categories for this. There's the first lot close on 11 a.m. on Wednesday, the 27th of May. And that's for emerging innovation, growth innovation, advanced manufacturing, community benefit and wellbeing, energy innovation, and great for the state. That leaves the 2 remaining award categories, which are government innovation and young innovators, have a later close time of the 1 p.m. on Friday, the 24th of July. And that's because those categories don't involve an accelerator program, whereas the award category people go on an accelerator program if they're successful. So there is a difference in the timeframes and the streams. Finalists will be announced later in the year, and then, of course, the winners will be announced at the awards ceremony on Monday, the 2nd of November at the Crown in Perth. So hopefully we'll get to see as many of you as possible on the night. That's the main thrust of the programme in terms of the summary for 2026. Very exciting, another growth one, a celebratory one. So hopefully, as I said, we'll see you there. I'm now going to introduce Sarah Mitchel, who'll give us a few tips about how to make an outstanding application so that you're in the running for a real chance.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not usually used to speaking into a microphone, so bear with me. So we're going to have a bit of a romp today because I want to cover 2 things. How to tell a better story, and I will tell you that, and I was so happy to hear that there's money being invested in storytelling. That will be your key to winning, a good key to winning. And I'm also going to give you some writing hacks on how to just make your award submission tighter and to get more value into what you're doing. So I'm a founder. I've got 2 companies, Typestat and Global Copywriting. I think what's really important for this one is I have judged a lot of awards programs. I have sat on the other side, so while I work all the time with people that are submitting awards, the thing that's most important today is I have that lived experience of having 100 submissions that I have to look at, and they all sound the same, or they're all written poorly, and your heart bleeds because you know everybody that enters is worthy, but just like some people are really good at taking tests, some people are really good at writing awards, and they're the ones that are going to win. So I'm going to give you some tips on that. I've been working, some of you may know me, I've been working with the Business News for many years on their 40 Under 40 and on their WA Business Awards. Have literally helped hundreds of people win awards, not just in WA, but all over the world. So if you thought about not paying attention to me today, I would advise you not to do that. So what we're going to talk about, storytelling, how to be concise in your writing, and just how to, charm the judges. That's what you're going to need to do with your writing. It's going to be a bit of a romp, so hang on. I already got the first thing wrong. It's not 5 p.m. on Friday the 27th of May. It's 11 a.m. and then 1 p.m. on the 24th of July. Okay, get that right. I'm going to give you my number one tip for writing award submissions. Do not go off-piste. Do not do it. I'm a mainframe programmer from way back when we called them programmers and not developers. We like three-letter acronyms, RTQATQ. Read the question, answer the question. Successful people have this way of answering the question they want to tell you about. Right? You can't do that on award submissions. The judges can only judge you on what you've answered in terms of what the question is. So it's not the time to tell your different story. You want to very much keep with that, because that's how you're going to be judged against everybody else. Last year, Anna Dixon was here, and she did this great presentation called How to Write a Compelling Grant Application. I don't have to do a lot of work today because she did all that heavy lifting, and that's out on the website. And I can't remember the exact date of it, but it's like the 21st of May or something like that. 7th of May. Go out and watch that. I watched it, and I just thought, well, good. She's done all that work for me. I don't have to do any of that. So what I want to talk to you about today is how to tell a better story about your business or about your innovation. And when I talk about brand storytelling, I'm not talking about the once upon a time stuff, but how do you get people to remember you? And there are 5 elements of it. Now, my business partner is a guy named Dan Hatch. Some of you may know him. He worked at the West for a number of years. He worked at the ABC. He taught me this. And journalists have this great way of being able to tell great stories all the time, day in, day out, sometimes about things that are pretty boring. So he said the number one thing that you have to have in every story is people. Make it human. And with my background in technology, I know that, we scientists and people that work in STEM, we like to talk about data and innovation and science, but we always have to relate it back to the people. So make sure there are people in your story. This is why case studies are so popular, right? Because case studies usually say how something happened and how something worked and how it affected people. The next thing is rarity. Okay, you need to have your own angle. You don't want to tell the same story that everybody else is telling. And I will tell you, if you're going to use an AI, if you're going to use ChatGPT to do your award submission, and I'm not saying don't use it, start with it if you need to. It's not going to be rare, right? So you want to get that unique angle in there. Intrigue. Now this is the part where applications will really stand out, right? What happened what happened to motivate your innovation? What's happened in your company, in your experimenting, whatever? What is it that makes it different than anybody else? And the example I always give here is when you think about who does intrigue really well, it's the reality TV shows, right? If you've never watched a reality TV show, we've all seen the adverts, right? And the adverts lead with the intrigue. So, I'm not a reality TV fan, but I do like Grand Designs. Does anybody watch that? Right? So, Grand Designs is great at the intrigue. If you think about it, how boring would that show be if the people that they were featuring found the property, their ideal property that they wanted, they got the bank loan that they needed, or better yet, they just had unlimited funds. The neighbors in the little quiet community didn't protest their 4-story monstrosity that they were going to build. There was nothing like COVID to come along to break the supply chain. There were no bad weather. There was no unexpected babies. There were no divorces. There were no mudslides. They got approval for everything, and at the end of the day, everything was on time and on budget, and voila. Right? That wouldn't be good TV. Nobody would watch it. We hang in there for the intrigue, and that's how they tell the story. So what is it that happened or that you're doing that creates a bit of intrigue or even yet an element of danger, right? What is happening? What problems are you trying to solve? What problems have you solved? What adversities have you overcome? Those things, even if it's a sentence or two, can really make your application stand out. Okay, so don't, and I mean, I love to see the F up, right? That is all about adversity. That's the innovators celebrating it. We all have experienced that. Nobody here that started a business has gotten through unscathed. So don't polish it to the point that it makes it look like that's what's happened. Okay. The other thing is it has to be a natural fit, right? This is an innovator award. It's so interesting. I've judged marketing awards and I've judged content awards. And every year many people put in advertising campaigns. And I'm like, that's great, you did great. But that's not this, right? So just make sure if you're going to spend time to do this, that it's actually an innovation and it actually meets the requirements of an innovation. And it might sound ridiculous, but I will guarantee people will enter and spend a lot of time, and it does take time and effort to put these applications together, and they won't qualify for what they've done. Okay? And then the next thing is it has to be timely, right? And for timely here, it means that you have to meet that deadline. Okay? So if you look at these 5 things together, these 5 points, it's an acronym. It adds up to print. And in our business, we always say, can you truthfully say your submission is fit to print? Right? And if it is, then you know that you've got a really good chance of standing out. Now, it's really hard to get all 5 of those things into every story or into every award submission, but you always have to have some people in it, some human element, and you always need to have some kind of a different angle, that rarity. If you can get all 5 of them in, I will tell you, you have written a great submission. I will also tell you that you can use this same thing in a press release or a media release, and you're going to really make the journalists happy, okay? Or the AIs happy, because that's, press releases now are great for AI visibility. So this is what we just call our brand storytelling formula. I've got this in a little booklet. I've got about 40 copies today. If anybody wants one, see me afterward and I'll give you that. Okay, brand storytelling. Does anybody know who Tom Fishburne is, the marketunist? So he's fantastic. I love Tom Fishburne. He's actually a blogger, but he does everything through a cartoon. And when I saw this cartoon, I actually had to license it because it's so true. And the way that we often write for business is just like this. It does one of 2 things, right? It either scares your audience off or it bores them to tears. And it's all because we're using the same kind of language, all this kind of gobbledygook. Okay. Now, William Zinsser, in his writing book on writing well, which is a little style guide, said the secret of good writing is to strip every sentence to its cleanest components. And I think that's true. And as somebody that's been running a copywriting and an editorial services business for a long time, the first thing that we do is we start cutting, right? We cut all the time. It's like being a gardener. The more you prune, the healthier everything looks, the better it reads. Okay? And then William Shakespeare in Hamlet made the point that brevity is the soul of wit. Right? Now you think about it, if you've ever heard a joke, they're quick. They're fast and sharp. Nobody spends a long time getting to the punchline and gets a big laugh. Right? So comics, poets, songwriters, they're masters at putting a lot of emotion and a lot of information into a few words. And it's a skill, and I just recommend that we do that. Now, the problem with traditional business writing is I think we're just all a bit too jazzy. All right, we spend too long getting to the point. If you've ever been to a jazz concert on a Wednesday night, it's supposed to start at 9, right? Yeah, at 11, the principal might start, and you think, what am I doing? And then they have their warm-up on stage, and you think, it's a school night, what am I doing, right? But then once they get going, you're like, that's what I'm here for, right? Well, we can't do that. Now, Sting, I love this quote from Bring on the Night. He said, in the jazz club, a soloist is allowed 3 or 4 verses to warm up. In rock music, you have to burn from the first bar. right? And that is true, I think, with modern business writing. You have to burn from the first word. We don't need a lot of fluff, right? You need to get to the point, and you need to start getting your information out there. Okay. So how do you do that? I'm going to give you some tips on maximizing word count. You want to make sure that every single word you put on that page is working for you. And I'm going to show you some examples here. So the first thing is, all these words up here you can get rid of. I would challenge you to never use them. That is my number one hit. I never let it in the writing. It takes up space you don't need, and word count. And I know from talking to Georgia that these applications, every question has a word count, right? So if you've got to explain your whole innovation in 300 words, well, good luck, right? That's really hard. So get rid of some of these words. Will, can, and should, those are all predictive language, right? You want to be very declarative. You want to put your stake in the ground. Don't say something should happen. Something did happen. Just, will, very, some. These are all mealy words. These are words that you use. They just fill up space, and they weaken your sentences. So I'm going to show you some examples of my own writing. So, and I'm going to give you, I've just got 5, but I'm going to take you through them because you can see what it looks like in action. So these are all sentences that I've written and published, and I think almost all of them I got paid for. So PictoChart is a design app that requires very little effort from users to produce beautiful, high-quality graphics. That's great. But I wasted 12 words. I could shorten that up and say PictoChart is a design app requiring little effort to produce high-quality graphics. It means the exact same thing. It's a much stronger sentence. I got rid of that. I changed requires to requiring, so now it's much more active. Very little effort. It doesn't have to be very. It can just be little. I've got from users in here. Well, who else is it going to require effort from? Not the dog, not my dogs, right? And I'm saying beautiful, high-quality graphics. Well, when you think about it, if they're high quality, they're probably beautiful, or beautiful doesn't even matter, right? So you can say 12 words in that one sentence. Here's another, I'm sorry, you don't say 12 words. I can't, 5 words, thank you. The math is bad this early in the morning. The next one, I have been advising customers that they should be considering a CSR strategy for their business. Well, good for me, right? Except I could say, I advise customers to consider a CSR strategy. And you look at this, I have been advising. I can just change that to advise. That they should be. I can change that to 2. Consider a CSR strategy for their business. For what else would it be for? Right? So when you read it then, I advise customers to consider a CSR strategy. So I cut that sentence in half. It went from 16 words to 8 words. Here's another one. Today's software can help you to transform amateur footage into meaningful and engaging stories. Great. But I can get rid of 5 words. I can say today's software helps transform amateur footage into meaningful stories. Right? And that's one where it's like can help. There's no can about it. This isn't like Yoda, right? Today's software helps. That's how it is. Another one, let's break down the hype and explore some cool tools that can quickly and expertly grow your visual marketing impact. Well, this is a good example where some adds no value to this. If I say explore cool tools, when I say some, when I take some out, I'm not committing to all the cool tools. But I can say, let's explore cool tools to quickly and expertly grow your visual marketing impact. That 7 words gone from 20 to 13. And let me tell you, when you do your ugly first draft, and if you use ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, and if you're going to use an AI to do this, please use Claude because it's much better on the writing. When you get done to your 300 word count and your ugly first draft has 325 words, being able to get rid of 5 is really good. Okay, here's our last one. So be careful when you're passionate about something, you get very wordy. I wrote this, I was in a rant, about a LinkedIn invitation. Some guy I didn't know who had 3 people in his network asked me to connect, and I said no, and then he went off on me. So I, if the invitation doesn't have any specific information as to why you want to connect with me and I don't know you, I will refuse the connection every time. 29 words, I got that off my chest, right? But what would be a lot more effective and memorable is if the invitation doesn't have specific information why you want to connect and I don't know you, I refuse the connection. Now I will, there's no will about it. So I do it, so I refuse the connection. I do it every time. And these kind of hidden things, as to that's very business speak, but why you want to connect with me, who else are you going to connect with? Right, you can just get rid of this. And we've saved there 8 words. So in all of that, those 5 sentences, which I've just gone through with my X-Acto knife and edited out all the stuff that doesn't make sense, I've saved 33 words. Well, what's 33 words? It's a paragraph that you can add more value. All right? Okay, so here's the other thing I'm going to recommend that you do. Read your article aloud, out loud, full voice before you submit it. Because our brain, there's a problem my proofreader says with generalization. It's a psychological term. We think we know what's on the page, but we don't really know. Sometimes we miss the stuff. And if we just, you don't get it. But when you read it out loud, you can hear it. Now, Word has got this fantastic read aloud feature. So what I do is I will just put read aloud in, I'll have a cup of tea, and I can really hear where the clutter is. The that's come out, the very's come out, the repetitive words come out. The sentences, I already said that in the first paragraph. Why am I saying it again in the third paragraph? Right. So the other thing I'm going to encourage you to do, somebody that's taken a lot of time to get a good application ready for submission, you've got a professional asset. And writers will use and reuse and repurpose our writing. And I find people that don't write as a profession will just say, that's a job done, and chuck it. But make sure, there's so many different ways you can use that. Use it on LinkedIn, use it on your website, use it for other award submissions. This is a really good, rigorous award. So once you've got it, enter industry awards with it. Just make sure you don't throw it away. Okay, does anybody have any questions? No? No questions? Okay. You can get in touch with me if you do have any questions. I told Georgia, if anybody wants a copy of this, I'm happy for her to send the PDF out. And if you want the little synopsis of my story, then get in touch with me afterward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. As being on the receiving end of reviewing some applications in my time, I definitely appreciate cutting that word count down. Well, thank you so much. I have a job to wrap this up and let you all stretch your legs, enjoy the food over here. But before we do, if I can just thank everyone. So Sarah Mitchell for that awesome rundown. The Honourable Stephen Dawson, thank you for your time. I know you're a very busy man, but not as busy as Fiona Wood because she's had to scrape off. So thank you to Fiona Wood as well. Gerrard, thank you so much. And all of the sponsors that are sponsoring the Innovators of the Year 2026, please get around them. And if you want to apply, here's a QR code, and that's the talk from last year, if you want to go and check that out. So thank you so much. See you in 2 weeks' time.
I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I just wanted to remind everybody, when we did a show of hands earlier in the room, there were very few founders in the room today. So my call out to you is we've got a great group of people here from the innovation ecosystem. So my call to action is, because the session today brings together some fantastic people from our ecosystem, is think about all the people you know in your networks, because they're not in this room today, and encourage them to put in the award. Be the person that helps proofread with the amazing tips that Sarah provided. So my call to action is think about 3 people, 3 amazing founders that you know, and tap them on the shoulder to apply for this award.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Please enjoy.
Thanks, Andrew.